Uh, this I always ask. I don't know what number this is. It's funny
Nick
because I
can't
edited
count.
episodes. I edited episodes, but I never. It's 24, right? 24. Episode
Yes.
24. Welcome to episode 24 of Big Belly Pats. Uh, I'm your boy Nick. I just thought about this. This is Big Belly Pats. I don't think Charles has a big belly. So
No. Charles is preparing to run the comrades. Charles is preparing to run the comrades. Let's just put it that way. He's going to run the comrades soon. So
I
there ain't no
I
belly on that guy.
I would want to show you guys proof, but I don't want to turn this into an X-rated podcast. So we'll keep it to just above here.
He doesn't want to shame us on air, so it's fine. So it's okay.
there you go. But yeah, I'm your boy Nick. Of course, we got Mr. D, Big D. All the ladies know Big D. All the parents know Big D. All the single moms know Big D. And then we have another special guest, mind reader dude, aka Charles. And I don't want to butcher your last name. I just owe you that respect. But yeah, you can introduce yourself, good sir. How you doing?
No, I think Charles is good enough. We don't have to.
Yeah, we
extend it into.
Yeah, we don't need to get the government involved if someone's looking for us.
Like I did for Olivia, calling her by her full name. On there,
Full name.
Full name. got a dirty look for that.
Yeah, let's see.
Well,
yeah, how
welcome
you been? How you doing? Well, yeah, how you doing, good sir?
Which good sir? There's two of us.
Charles.
You're the guest. You're the guest.
The more important one.
Yeah. But I mean, I've listened to enough of your podcasts to know that good sir could also be you.
Touche.
Unless today, yeah, I don't know. Maybe other days he calls you different things. But no, I'm good. I just about half an hour ago finished group therapy with a few patients, so I had a bit of a 30-minute gap, ate something, and now I am bestowing you with my presence, and I'm looking forward to the show. Yeah, all good. I've got an ultra marathon this weekend, 50 kilometers. It's part of my Hell Week.
Pause. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, it's on purpose.
Okay, so you made that choice.
I made that choice. No.
Nick doesn't run, by the way. He doesn't run without a purpose.
You're one of those people. All right.
I'm one of those people. That's why I can't qualify as a big belly pat. That's,
No.
I don't have enough.
Maybe
I'm sweating thinking about an ultra marathon.
Maybe a big ambitious pat. That would be the best I could.
Okay.
Do.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you running 50 straight?
Well, yeah. So this week, I'm trying to run over 90 kilometers in 7 days. So my first was 22 on Wednesday, and then my next one 2 days off, and then next one is the 50K on Saturday, and then 2 days off, and then I finish it off with another 21 plus kind of mileage, and that's good coverage before you taper down for the comrades, which by the way is 85 kilometers. So this ain't shit.
Yeah,
This ain't shit. This ain't shit. Oh. Okay.
Like in comparison, not like for a universal standard. I'm just talking about in comparison to what I'm preparing myself to do.
Right. I fuck. Firstly, shout out.
I say fuck every time I'm about to run. It's like the guy. It's like the guy from GTA. He's like, oh shit, here we go.
Here we go again. Firstly, shout out to you. Congratulations for getting this. Congratulations for being able to run 20K in a day. But nah. I can sprint. I can sprint short distances fast. That's
And while sprinting, at least doing something like catching a ball or something. It's kind of what.
yeah. I have you always run these marathons? Is it something like you just picked up recently?
No, no, no. I've been running a long while. I think since I basically started working, because it's difficult to sometimes do team sport or stuff that coordinates other people's schedules and that. So
Mm-hmm.
running then just becomes a natural release or outlet because you can. It's not dependent on anybody's time, and you technically don't need to go to a gym to do it. You just need a pair of running shoes and you're good to go. And then it's just picked up. I did mileages of like 10s, and then it gradually picked up to 21s. And then before I knew it, I was doing the full marathons. And I always had this ambition, though, to run the Comrades Marathon. I want to do it twice, the up run and the down run, and then I'm out. And then I can just come down back to 21s and 42s because those are okay distances to run.
Okay.
This 85-kilometer one, that's one race.
It's one race, yeah.
All right.
And one day.
Shit. And are you running like? Is this all in South Africa? Because you got to be running to another country at this point.
It's only between cities. It's called the Comrades. It's between two cities in one province.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, go you. I don't know, man. That is just a lot, man. Just hearing that is just my girl
Nick's gonna get a heart attack just watching this.
I mean, I respect it. Don't get me wrong. My girl, in her lunch break, she'll run a quick 5K. I ran with her once, and I was like, there's some people just aren't made for things like this. So I stay in my lane, my athletic. So
I get you. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. But welcome to the show. Glad we got you on. Daniel talks about you a lot. Oh shit, Daniel talks about you a lot since I've met Daniel. So yeah, man, we'll have to finally meet you. We'll have to get down to South Africa or meet in the middle somewhere to Daniel's new beach home. Are we allowed to speak about your new house?
Yeah. I'm officially a homeowner.
Okay.
Officially a homeowner. And actually, shout out to my mom. It's the 18th of April, and she's moving to Spain today.
Oh, wow.
She flies from Cyprus to Gatwick, and then tomorrow she flies Gatwick to Alicante.
Why the hell does she have to...
So she has to go past it?
No. Remember, Cyprus is by Syria. It's further away. It's not necessarily in Europe. Geographically, it's in the Middle East.
Yeah,
So
but like to fly to Spain, bruh.
Yeah, but if you look at the map, it literally goes like that. It's like a triangle. It doesn't go straight over. Plus, the flight to Alicante is not the most available flight.
Yeah, I'd imagine not many.
Going into Gatwick and out is pretty much the same.
If you started off with like, it's a bit expensive, I would just say, okay, I get it. But when we were talking about distances, I was like, man, isn't it like quite straightforward to?
Yeah, it should be straightforward, but like, so she's moving.
Didn't you guys go to Mallorca, like direct?
No, we went to Mallorca through Greece.
Okay, but still, that's better.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends. Remember, Mallorca is an island off the coast of Spain.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and in terms of Mallorca, you have to go through an international airport, not a city airport, because Mallorca doesn't have a border control.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because it's an island it's part of Spain, but it's an island off Spain. Okay. So it becomes technical with border control. So the border control is done in the departing destination aspect. Okay. But yeah, guys, just to give you guys all a bit of a background, we've had this lovely conversation about Charles running the Comrades, and but we don't know really what we're doing. We've got one guy from England, well, not from England, he's in England. We've got one guy in South Africa, who's technically not from South Africa, and then we've got one guy in China who isn't from China. So we've got all these.
So nobody's at home.
Nobody's at home. And the reason why we're not going to turn this into a dark, sobby episode. I don't think that's what we want to do with this episode. Mm-hmm. However, we want to turn this into an empowering episode. There's a new curriculum at my school, and it's called Empower. and it's all about like giving kids the power to just be pretty cool humans. And I think like we'll give Charles his background a little bit. He will give himself he will like give a bit of background on what he actually does. But he's done a lot for men's mental health in South Africa. And I think, just sitting here asking him questions, he might not know all the answers, but just getting a perspective of his line of work and how it can help young people around the world, not just men, but everyone. And then, so pretty much we do want to turn this, we are expat community. That's why we call it the patties, even though Charles is flat stomach and Nick is semi-flat stomach, and then I'm probably like the guy with the actual belly. I'm full. But yeah, so welcome, Charles. Welcome officially. I know Nick was busy having a heart attack on the distances you run. I know I've run 1 or 2 races with Charles. It was the 10Ks. I've done this before. I have run a half marathon. I've run the 2 Oceans Marathon half. I've done a 21. Nick's found
I found a little media thing. Oh man, I'm having fun with this. Wait, you ran a 20K?
Yeah, I ran the half marathon, the 2 Oceans half marathon. Yeah,
I'm picking some great friends because I would never. But you guys are great, man. I would be at the finish line, signs and water ready for you all. Couldn't, man. I'm sorry.
Before we get started, Charles, we got it. Charles and I are Arsenal fans, and obviously, like, our season is pretty much done and dusted. Yeah, so we got, but I've got to thank Nick.
You said that this would not be a dark and gloomy discussion. Keep to that.
That's why I'm not wearing Arsenal shirts. Okay, that's why I'm wearing like a Harlequin shirt because they're actually doing quite well. But shout out to Nick's team. Thank goodness for Nick's team. Hala Madrid. All right, they kicked Man City out of the Champions League quarterfinals. Thank you. I don't know. I think I could have handled that.
I watched that last night. That game pissed me off until the end. Because at one point, we were just playing defense all game. I don't think we were really trying to score outside of that first goal. Because they had like 18 corners to our we got our first corner like in the 80th minute. Dang. So yeah, I was getting pissed, and then one of the players, Kamavinga, turned the ball over 1,000 times, and I'm just like, it got to the point I'm just like, maybe we want to go to penalties because this is trash. So, but when we got to penalties, I was like, okay. It scared me a bit when Luka missed that first one. But I'm like, all right. So we're good. We good. I got more faith against Bayern than Man City.
Yeah, just make sure you guys actually win the Champions League because the other teams don't. No. Besides Dortmund and Real Madrid can be in the final. That's fine. That's a nice final. That's okay.
Dortmund, Madrid, Bayern. Who's the fourth one?
PSG.
Yeah, gotcha. PSG.
Yeah. Well, all right. It was a pity that we didn't get over the line, and it's a bit tough being a Gunner because, like, this has probably been our best season in a long time in terms of hope, actual real hope. And then
it feels like the Leicester one where we live in like the round of 16 and like we compete in the title and then we fall short by like March, April. So it's much of the same, actually.
Yeah, it's a usual time of the year where we just go pew. So it's but hopefully, people. I'm saying the season's done. I know there's 6 games left, but
y'all still up there playing for a shot.
Yeah, with 2 points behind City, but that juggernaut in the Premier League, they steamroll teams.
Let's re-engage with this conversation when there's like 2 or 1 games left. If we're still in it, then and with a good chance, then
we're hoping again, aren't
we
we?
can hope. But like at the moment, we just shut up, eat humble pie,
Yeah.
and
Season done. Just walk away.
Play a good game.
and enjoy potentially some good football, and we hope that we can do it again next season. That's all.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Outside of that, I haven't been doing much. Working and football. Just playing American football. Next month we play in Manchester against some teams. But I'm going
Good.
to.
I can't wait for the next venting session after that tournament.
Yeah, I haven't had a vent session in a while. But
Yeah.
like 2 episodes. But we're doing that, and I'm going to this thing. You ever heard of something called Bongos Bingo?
Bongos bingo. What's that?
So apparently, I'm going with Lucy, some of her friends, and it's like bingo. Like you go to like a bingo hall with all the old ladies with the little.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that, but apparently everybody's drunk and there's a lot of music playing and there's like lights and stuff. And you can win crazy prizes and people are dancing. From my understanding, it's a party, but it's bingo.
Okay.
Apparently, it's like a big thing. So we're doing that. Outside of that, man, I just been chilling, catching up on shows. Shogun, it's crazy. Daniel's reading with 3 Body Problem.
Yeah, I'm reading 3 Body Problem. Yeah, so that's what Nick and I do a lot of like discussions of shows. Okay. And then currently I'm not really talking about either the book, 3 Body Problems. So I'm in the second book, The Dark Forest. I don't want to talk about it because I'm a bit upset what they did to one of the main characters. Okay. And then Shogun is a Japanese not documentary.
It's like a war drama
series on a war drama. And they've also screwed me over, So Arsenal fucked me over.
You just had a rough week.
Shogun fucked me over. My book fucked me over. At least my Frisbee team made me proud. My kids made me super proud.
How did y'all do, man? I saw the photos.
So, okay, we lost. We came. There were 3 teams. We came 3rd. That's what I'm saying. We won the 3rd trophy and we won the Spirit trophy. But to give you guys context, we obviously part of a huge organization in China called Alchemist. And they deal in tournaments with under 14 and under 19 teams.
Okay.
So under 19 is basically from 16 to 18, turning 19 in their school year. And under 14 is basically you need to turn 14 within the school year in September. So September 2023 is if you turn 14 after that, you are regarded as an under 14. So there were 2 schools, one from Beijing and one from Shanghai. And they came with 14 players each, and they were the youngest person from both those teams were 13 and 12. One 13-year-old, one 12-year-old. The rest were all 14. So they were literally, I'm not lying, they were the same size as the under 19 teams because they had all these growth spurts and they stopped. And my little children, I'm now calling them children, not athletes, because I had 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds running around. So height was a big factor. And Nick, you've played Frisbee. When it comes to height, unless you can jump like some of the players jump, you're not getting the Frisbee. So my kids were very, very good. They improved over the tournaments. I think the last game we played was 7-3. And that was an improvement from like 8-1 and 8-0 and 9-3. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased that they did, and that was their first competitive match. So on that tournament, they played 5 matches on Saturday. They've never played a match before that, so they've played 5 matches. It's 5 matches under their belt. So yeah, there's lot to go. So the tournament was a great success, and that's probably the only thing that's been going so well in terms of the rest of these other things that I like doing. So yeah.
Was that your first tournament?
I'm going to... Yeah. So that was the first Ultimate Frisbee. So basically international schools tournaments in China. So that's the first Frisbee one. I won't lie that we're watching those under 19 kids play. I kept telling them, and I was like, I'm just super impressed of the quality. There was a team from Guangzhou and there was a team from Hong Kong. it's so unfair. These kids are just super athletic, and you know how I can pass not too bad with my forehand. So a forehand is a pass that's like you cut it. It's not your backhand, but it's almost like this forehand. All right, almost like a forehand in tennis. And this one kid, I think he was about 17 years old. So I'm watching him. He's a silky player. It was like watching Messi. I'm not over exaggerating. He grabbed the frisbee, got the frisbee. He popped the forehand on his right hand. Popped it lovely to his teammate. Goes and grabs the frisbee. Checks his teammate running another line. He takes his left hand. Doesn't do a backhand right. He takes a left hand forehand. Super accurate in the ender. I was like, this guy just threw it with both hands, and it didn't seem like it had effort. I was just like, this is unfair, you know. So, but the quality of the and yeah, like, can you get off the field? And the one team, it was quite funny. They were making fun of them, not fun of them, but they were really like, what's going on with the school, because they had all this hair. Like, all these kids had this beautiful hair. I'm not over-exaggerating. Like, one guy had long hair, like he was a stallion. He had hair like all the way down, and he was like running in the wind. I was like, is he an actor? Does he get paid? And everyone on that one team, they won the competition. Everyone had great hair. Great hair. Like, awesome hair. Everyone was just like, all the teachers, all the coaches were like, you know, some of our teachers are bold, and they were like, can we have some? So they were like supreme athletes. There wasn't anyone that looked like me. Okay, they all probably looked like choles running around, sprinting around with all this lovely hair. And it was just like watching people like doing performances for a miniseries. It was just like, wait, what? Why are these people like, did you pick a Frisbee team or like an acting team? It's just like incredible. But apart from that, it was actually pretty cool. I think I think I experienced a lot of emotions going through that. I think there was like one time, I think I told you, Nick, that I was like literally on the floor. I was like putting my legs in the sky. I was like, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about this. So yeah, it was kind of stressful. It was stressful to put this whole event together, because not just coaching it, was trying to run the whole thing as well. But I had an awesome team. I had an awesome team with me, and they kept me in check. I even said on the one night, I was like, when I had to do a speech, like not a speech, but like do the welcoming stuff on one night, I was like, without these 4 people, I wouldn't be here tonight. That's for sure. And you guys wouldn't have been here tonight either. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. But it was a good, successful tournament. In my previous job in South Africa, I was in an events marketing team, but organizing an event in South Africa where you speak the language is not so hard. But organizing an event in China where you need a middle person in between you, that becomes a lot more challenging. And then you like my colleague that was literally my right-hand person, she was incredible. She was super. There were times where I was like, give me that phone. I want to speak to this person. I want to tell them my mind, but they're not going to understand me. And then she'd just be like in Chinese, she'll be like, I'll call you later. I need to talk to this guy. And I'll be like, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. Tell them to take their stuff and go. I don't want them. So there was a lot of that stuff where they were like just after money. And they were like, we're not going to do this if you don't pay us this. And I was just like, okay, bye. I don't need you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I told one facility to literally I was in the lobby downstairs. It was after school. I was like, you know what, Sonny? Tell them, shove it. Take their money and shove it. And I slammed my hand down. And I was so loud and aggressive. The guy, he changed his tune and he dropped his price by like 5,000 RMB. Because he heard me going rampage. Because I was trying to get the best price possible. And these guys were just trying to take advantage.
So which place did you end up going with? That place?
No, that place I told them to go away. Because I was like, now you want to give me a discount. But their discount was even still higher than the place we went with.
Okay. All right. China's making your business acumen step up, the land of the negotiation. So nice. All right, brother. Don't sound like you did half bad. I guess a break is well deserved. You got another tournament coming up next week.
No. I mean, I'm traveling to Hangzhou next week, so I'm going to Hangzhou for a conference. So next week, this time next week, I'll arrive in Hangzhou. Well, my time, not your time. Still the same thing.
What do you mean?
Same thing.
In Hangzhou for what?
I've got a conference. I've got a athletics directors conference for 2 days.
All right. Okay. All right, big fella.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't, but you do you. But yeah, man. So moving on. I think what was this last episode? We kind of went down a little like a mental health kind of thing as far as like especially I know we were really piggybacking off of just being, stuck how everyone went through with COVID. But just going off of that into just speaking of as men and then men going abroad, we're not from home, just men going abroad, not men going abroad, but people going abroad, living abroad as an expat, and just the outside of the outside factors that we have to deal with, finances, learning a language, this, that, and the third. But it's never really spoke about the internal issues that I think some people deal with, and of course we all deal with it differently. Some more healthier than others, but yeah, I think was that last episode we kind of went into that. Or was
Yeah, that was it was episode 23 where we kind of like started just talking about the mental side of things, where we were sharing our little snippets of what we experienced during COVID particularly. But I think what we kind of wanted to talk about or kind of explore is like what could be the mental implications of, first of all, like going through the process of securing a move overseas, actually experiencing the actual move, going there, doing it, and then like the now you there moments. So like now you're there, you've got to change everything. So I think like we this is where we were like, oh yeah, no, we experienced this, we experienced that, but like it could mean totally different things because so like culturally the implications of being in a different culture for a mental person, say that wrong, but like mentally, like imposing a mental challenge for someone, saying that, okay, cool, this is a new culture, how do I cope with it? Because like I think some people might withdraw, might lash out. So going from there, I think the idea is like we try to offer tips, not like please do consult doctors. Don't go, and if we say drink this drink, like please don't take our advice and not listen to actual medical professionals like Charles. Like Charles is an actual medical professional. I'm a middle school teacher. Don't take medical advice from me, please. I tell my kids to clean it and put a band-aid on it. Meanwhile, they have to go to the nurse. I am first aid trained. But yeah, so I think, Charles, like in terms of like what what you've experienced or what you've probably been through yourself, you've traveled a bit. You've seen the world, you've seen and experienced different cultures maybe. Do you think there is like what could people in general just start to do mentally? Like how do they mentally prepare for such a thing, for such a
big
change in their lives?
Big life shift, a big move. Because I think it's I mean, still want you to answer that, but it's just one of those. It's all fun and games, but when it's like boom, okay, this is real, then that's when it hits so many people.
Well, I mean, the first thing, you say that I've traveled quite a bit, and one has to differentiate it between, you going on holiday for a prolonged period of time or, a temporary kind of stay versus something that is quite indefinite or permanent. And if I think about your state of mind when you're doing it on holiday or temporarily, is that there's sort of this seize the day kind of mentality, and that's a completely
Yeah.
different experience, which actually propels you to probably engage a lot more with your surroundings, your environment, and to immerse yourself in ways that maybe you wouldn't if you know that actually, like, if I throw my name around here and things don't work out so well, I got to live with it. Whereas when
Yeah.
you're on holiday and just a bit experimental and you're trying to be yourself and you're just trying to explore, you don't give a fuck. You just be like, okay, well, I'll be myself, and
Yeah.
yeah, if you
It
don't
is what
like
it
me,
is.
I'm leaving in anyway. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a completely different mentality, and in a weird way, you almost wish that like people could live like you know they're going on holiday, or it's going to be temporary, because their state of mind and their state of being is a lot more confident, and they sometimes push themselves out, and sometimes to some degree also a lot more adventurous in themselves than they would be um, when there is an element of risk to it. But I think on the other side, living in a place indefinitely or permanently, I think it can be hard. One, if there is, I think language is a very, very big thing, because like, okay, you're in one country, like Dan, you're in South Africa, and you move to China, and it's completely different to maybe Nick moving from the States to Liverpool. So the first thing is like Dan moving to China. There's a completely different alphabet. There's they don't even use the same. They don't even use the same letters. Whereas for Nick, yeah, the accent is different, and that Scouser accent sometimes. My God,
Whew.
um,
Don't
yeah,
get me
and let's not
started on
even get.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I won't. I won't. I won't. But at least you can, at least the dictionary, or rather
Yeah.
the alphabet, not the dictionary.
Yeah.
The alphabet is the same. The frame of reference is same. So like meaning, um, it is fairly relative. It just
Right.
varies here and there. So that's the first thing, and you need language to be able to connect. And the moment that language is taken away, or at least there's nuance in the language, suddenly your experience starts to change. And because it's so important for one to feel understood, and often if you don't, you're really dependent on the other. And when I say the other, it can just be whoever you're talking to or relating to in this different country. You're very dependent on the other to validate who you are, or your experience, or the things that you're feeling. Language is a completely big barrier. And I mentioned that as an example, but I think anyone listening to this, and obviously yourselves, can think that there are so many different barriers that inhibit connection. And I think that's actually the biggest part about living in a different space or in a different country, and what impacts your mental health. Because suddenly you're in a position where the thing that helps you connect, with, be it language, be it food, be it the sport that you play, be it the um, area that you live in, whatever you find as fundamentally important to connect and to relate, if that is something that is taken away from you, then that essentially impacts on your sense of self, and one starts to feel very isolated. And if one is really insecure about their state of being and who they are, and there's, I almost want to say, there's no way of them connecting and getting their attention needs met. And it's, connection is a very basic human need, and if that is not being met in some way, that is actually what leads to um, the mental health challenges, or at least the start of the mental health challenges. Maybe it just starts of a series of sad days, and then it becomes something bigger over a period of 2 months or 6 months, and then suddenly it snowballs if left unattended, for about a year, and then you're in a really dark place over that period of time. So it's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's like, what do humans need all across the world? And that's something to be able to feel a sense of connection to. The moment you take that away, the moment you take away a part of who they are. So, you guys asked me to speak on the pod, and I thought, what the hell am I going to contribute to this conversation? And I really had to think, what is the essence of being human? What is the essence of what we need wherever we are in the world, and connection is a very big part. But I think crucially, and it was my therapist that said this to me the one time, and Dan mentioned that I've traveled a lot throughout my whole life. And the one session, and I mean, I've been living in South Africa for a long time, so I'm not struggling with, for lack of a better term, being homesick or living in a different place, or this new experience of being an expat. It was just this feeling that, where do I actually belong? And we spoke at length and about all the different places that I'd lived and the places that I'd spent significant time going to school. And she looked at me and she says, "And what's the common thing amongst all those things?" And I said, "I don't know. Well, the fact that there was change." She says, "Yeah, no, I agree. But who is the common person in all those places?" I said, "Well, maybe to some degree my mom and that." She's like, "No, man, don't be an idiot. Who is the common person?" I said, "Well, myself." And she says, "Well, if you're the common denominator and you're looking for a place of belonging, you're not going to feel a sense of belonging anywhere in the world if you don't feel that you belong right underneath your skin, because that's where the first home begins." And I mean, that what I'm saying now can translate into a nugget of wisdom, or just a realization or epiphany. But I really stand by that. Once she said it, and I thought about it in so many intervals in my life. Like, if you're not at home with yourself, you'll never be at home anywhere else. You can move to Alaska, you can move to China and complain that it's the language barrier. You can move to Russia and say it's the war and whatever. But if you don't feel fundamentally at home within yourself, in your own body, underneath your own skin, it's not going to feel at home anywhere. And that is actually probably the biggest cause of any mental health difficulties, is people not feeling that they even belong and can feel comfortable underneath their skin. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
They say bars. Okay. All right. Damn.
I'm just gonna.
What are you doing? Oh, you got a booger. Big old booger. But
I've just muted my mic so I can finally blow my nose.
okay, gotcha. But well, yeah, man, that's I never even thought of it as in, like, me personally feeling comfortable and, like you said, feeling comfortable within myself, finding a home within my own self. And I never thought of it, but I personally feel like that's never been an issue, because for me, finding comfort somewhere has always just been, for me, it's just like, and it might be just coming from an American standpoint, but like, am I safe here? Am I safe here? Am I okay able to live the life that I want to live with the money I'm able to make, the house I'm able to afford, et cetera, et cetera? Once I can find, like, okay, things are slowly going into a path, then I'm like, I'm good. I can sit into, like, me personally, I can sit at home by myself all day, not talk to nobody. And I'll be like, man, I'm straight, because I know things are, of course, there's bumps and hiccups here and there, but I know that where I'm at, I'm safe. And I also think part of that comes just from being a black man in America, depending on the certain places that you live. Safety is always a big thing, and it's not always the safest. So I've always been like, where can I find safety? And then when I lived in China, like, the language was a barrier, the culture was a barrier, just the way they moved was an issue. And I said it plenty of times before that I wanted to leave these countries. I didn't like being there. But I also told myself, one, I'm safe here, so I feel like I'm good. And two, I just said, for me, fuck it, I'm gonna just throw myself in. I'm gonna just throw myself in the deep end. Let's just see how we finna move. Let's see what falls in place. If nothing works, my whole background was, I'm gonna just go back home. I can go back home and just start over. So, but thinking of it from a, like you said, like, it has never really clicked in my head before. Like, am I even comfortable in my own skin where I am now? Which I feel like I am, but that's a word. That's some gems that you got to. I would be thinking about for a while. Yeah.
But I agree with that, the safety and looking for places that one obviously feels physically secure.
Mm-hmm.
And one only identifies that that's the stuff they need when they feel at home with themselves, because they know all the things that make things feel at home within
Yeah.
themselves. So
Right.
naturally, at a psychological and emotional level, or at least intrapersonal level, and that's within yourself, you're going to look for those things, and then invariably you already start looking for similar things externally, and that becomes like where you're going to live, what kind of food are you going to eat, what neighborhood do you stay in, and all of those things that just contribute to you feeling at home, or at least safe, and all the other things that come with um, I guess having a sense of calm about where you are. um,
Yeah.
yeah, once the internal is fixed or at least resolved, then the external tends to resolve itself as well.
Yeah, I think like if you kind of got if you know who you are. I don't think it's the what if you know what you want or where you want to be. I think if you know who you are and if you're comfortable with you know who you are. Like not saying that because I think there's always space and there's always room to improve and better yourself. There is always that. But if you are comfortable with who you are and it's probably a cheesy line, but if would you be friends with yourself if you met yourself, you know? And I think if you're cool with that, and you're like, you know what, it's okay. I'm not gonna be, I'm not a famous movie star or anything like that, but I'm just a person that's enjoying who I am, where I am. And I think if, like you said, if you're comfortable with who you are and you got room to improve and you want to change and you want to explore, I think going ahead and doing that. I think, like, sometimes when people say, oh, I need to go and I need to go find
Mm,
myself, I think that becomes
mm,
complex. I think it's now complicated because what are you trying to find?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, you know, I think Nick and I have met quite a few expats that are trying to find themselves and to basically be like, okay, what could it be that I'm looking for, basically. So yeah, I know this is not normally our time. We're not gonna break here, but I do kind of want to ask while Charles is on here. I mean, Charles is a very busy man. Unlike Nick and I, we just floaters in the
Hey, baby,
universe. Charles
I'm
is an
well,
actual go getter.
I disagree with that fundamentally, because this is a priority for you guys, so you create enough time for it. um and it's not to say that this isn't a priority for me. It just, it falls within the normal flow of my day. So it was a
yeah,
priority that I could make time to be with you guys. But yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't disrespect your guys' hustle, man.
No, 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 no. So the thing that I want to really dig or ask Charles and to not to like send a message because I've I think I did it in 2020. What are we now? 2024? 2022. End of 2022. I approached Charles and I was like, Charles, you're my best mates. I can't speak to you about the issues I'm going through. I need someone to speak to. And it was the first time, not like I had any like pressing issues, I had very sound people around me growing up, so always had that. But I think the first time that I spoke to a psychologist or a therapist or whatever anyone calls them around the world, I think there was almost like a sense of like you're not broken, but you're almost like I'm not alone. And it's okay to talk. And I think Nick, you've also spoken a bit about, you've spoken to someone about it. We've both spoken to professionals. Now, if you look at Nick and I, we big guys. We look manly. Well, kind of. Nick looks more manly than I do. But I think so many guys. I've spoken to so many guys, and I'm like, just seek help. Just not saying go and like plead help, but it's okay. And I think maybe there is still this like I think the biggest thing, what I think it is, it's like it's how I learn in terms of teaching. And I think if you've ever taught in a classroom, to be vulnerable, to be like you are not good, sometimes I'm not the best teacher. I'm miles away from it. But I'm just like, I want to learn, and how do I learn? And I'm just watch, and I'd be like, you know what is that? Okay, do you think that's a good idea? No, terrible idea. Scratch it. And I think that's how. And I want to ask you to like send a message before you do leave us on the podcast, but like how to encourage more guys all around the world just to simply, if they need to talk about it, talk about it.
Well, I mean, you're asking me.
This is your
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think this is the baby that you're still working on. It's been part of your life for a long time since you
yeah,
started
yeah,
this.
yeah. I think the first thing I would say is like talking is easy. It's easy to talk. You know, I mean, right from the moment we stepped onto the podcast, we were talking, and we were talking about different things. You know, how's the day? We were trash talking. We were running our mouth, and you telling us about the highlights, and the fact that your highlight is your boys coming third. But anyway, but talking is easy. But talking about the things that matter are really, really difficult. Well, it's a really difficult thing to do, to talk about the things that matter, and part of it is what you mentioned there about being vulnerable. And I think I almost want to say asking for help, being vulnerable, and almost depending on people, they go hand in hand. You can't ask for help and not be vulnerable, and you can't be vulnerable and I almost want to say not want to depend on somebody. So it's sort of symbiotic, and I think the thing that makes it really difficult for men, and maybe a good starting point, is for them to really introspect on, who could they depend on unconditionally. And if they have to think about that question, and a lot of the times at the point that you are at a desperate point, or you don't know how to ask for help, or things are really in a sticky situation, your answer probably is invariably going to be like, I actually don't know, or I don't have somebody that I can unconditionally depend on. And that is probably the first hurdle that you need to cross or stumble through or work through, because that's really hard. And I think everybody wishes that they were someone that they can depend on, but invariably the default becomes, I can only depend on myself, because maybe there weren't that many people that I could depend on. And so that's the first question that one should actually ask, is like, who can I depend on? Because if you can figure out maybe who you could, that's a good start, because then you can revert to that person. And if that person is not around, is who's the next best person. But if you don't have a person that you can depend on, you say, okay, well, shit, this is a real issue in my life, and this is I almost want to say it's a vital human need to have someone that we can depend on, because it's how we meet our psychological needs, our emotional needs. Attention is it's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs to be able to meet that. And then when one can figure out that conundrum about, who can I depend on, then the next step is like, can I can I talk, and can I talk freely about the stuff that I'm struggling with or I'm sitting with. And I almost want to say, it's through asking yourself difficult questions that you almost put yourself in a paradoxical situation. Because if you're in a stick and you want to get help, and there's nothing that inhibits you, you don't even have to go through these questions. You're going to go and solve it real quick, like you did. You say, let me phone up my best mate, and let me go and get the help that I need, and send the right way. But if you, the person that denies a bit about what you need and doesn't want to, and these questions are still stuff that you linger with, then you've got a big responsibility on your hands. You've got to shape things and do things differently to how you've been doing them the whole time, if you want your life to change in a significant way. And that is often the first hurdle, is to look within yourself and to look at what inhibits me or prevents me from getting the help that I need in the way that I need it. And I mean, it's really complex. I don't think it's as straightforward as that, but it's sort of, that's my go-to that's my go-to thing, because I think help should be really a basic thing that anybody should be able to ask for, anybody should be able to seek out for. And if you're not able to openly and actively seek that, then that's your first hurdle. Um, so, in a nutshell, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, there's so much more one can say, but yeah, it's a good and tricky question.
Would you say it's more? Would you say it's more beneficial, like in the sense of like trying to find someone, or not like you're trying to find someone, but having someone that you can like, whether it's trust unconditionally or uh, be vulnerable enough to open up to them? Because I feel like a big issue of that is people are worried. Well, not a big issue, but one of the many issues is people are worried about being judged. If I can say, I got my girl, I love her to death, but it's some things I'm like, I don't know if I want to say it. I don't know how she's going to take it. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to offend anyone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So would you say it's more beneficial for those who are seeking some type of help or something to speak with someone like a therapist or someone that is outside of the house, someone that's looking in?
Yeah, I think that's a crucial part, because you're looking for news of difference. The reason sometimes we maybe feel ashamed, or reserved to speak to someone in our close circles, because in some way, shape, or form, maybe we've already had enough conversations to premeditate what the sort of response is going to be. So I'm a bit advocate for, people getting news of difference, but then being able to take that news and then go back into their circumstances and shape it and change it, not to avoid your issue and then get caught in avoiding or escaping your life, but figuring out a way that you can take what you get and make it better in your life so that you can live in it. So yeah, no, definitely. I'm a bit advocate. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a therapist necessarily. Obviously, if you've got deep psychological needs and issues, of course, but it doesn't have to start like that. It can end up that way if needs be, and you need to escalate, but it doesn't have to start that way. I think the moment you can just talk and ask for help, it's already a big step.
Gotcha. All right, man. Damn, this is some heavy shit. Even I gotta go think about for a bit. But we appreciate that. I know we're getting a little crunchy on time, so man, that was heavy. Get a little crunchy on time. So Daniel, do you have any terrible jokes that you want to share with the group? Charles, you have a joke?
Well, before we go,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys popped me off with that one, and you said I got to think of a joke, but I'm horrible at dad jokes. But I mean, like the one that I heard the one time that I think is relevant, because I'm, like supposed to be a psychologist and helping people stay calm and that kind of a thing. I'm gonna throw it. I hope you guys laugh at it. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
already laughing.
uh, like why why are skeletons so calm?
why?
No, take a guess, guys. Like it's not fun if you don't have a
uh,
guess.
they're they're cool under pressure.
They don't
There's
have
no skin, no skin in the game. I don't know.
nothing gets
There we
under their
go!
skin.
Bang!
I've never seen someone get so excited when they get an
I was
answer right.
thinking, I was thinking they just had like cold bones or something. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Dave, did you have one? I think he's about to say something else before I cut you off. Yeah.
Me? No.
Oh.
I told my wife she drew her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised.
Okay. Who hides in the bathroom at parties? The party pooper.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, my mom sent me. I don't know if this is a joke. No, my mom sent me this, and she was like, "You can say this on your podcast." So I know she listens, but it's not really a joke. She said, when Donkey followed Shrek home and just kept talking? She said that's what it's like having kids.
I can pertain to that because every single time a kid walks into my class for the next lesson, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Just
What are we
talking.
doing? Every single kid. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm like, find out later. You will find out later. Charles, before you go, are you watching anything? Are you watching any series? Are you reading any good books? Can you recommend anything cool?
Well, I watched The Gentleman, and I think that's the new craze on Netflix. And I loved it. It's dope, man.
Yes.
Don't tell me I'm still going through it. I'm still going through it. I'm still going through it.
Yeah, that's what I watched. And yeah, I think that's the gist of it. I mean, the before that I was watching the cartoon anime version of The Last Airbender, and I also finished that, and I really liked that. That was quite good. And then before that, like in the
Welcome
to
this side.
yeah. And then before that, like in the December period, I was watching a lot of these psychological thrillers, and I watched this one about like the different. I don't know. I think it was called Bodies or something like that. But like the 3 or 5 generations of cops, and they were all trying to solve the same murder mystery across.
Me and my girl watched that.
It's dope, man. It's dope.
What is it called?
Like it's called
What's
Bodies.
it called?
It's called Bodies.
What's it called?
I think it's called Bodies.
Bodies. It's like set in like
I think it's
called
it's like hundreds of years apart or something like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. We
Yeah.
finished it.
Yeah, so that's what I'd recommend. That's
Bye
what
bye,
I would
board.
recommend.
Is that how we're ending the show? Bye, board. See you later.
He's done.
All right, Charles. Thank you so much for joining the show. We're gonna end it here. Well, Nick always something up. You know, he's got this new place, this new sunroom.
I'm still figuring out what kind of relationship I have.
All right. As you can see, I'm not at home. I'm at school actually at 11 o'clock at night because of Wi-Fi. So I decided to have better Wi-Fi for this episode because of the magnitude of it. But Charles, Mr. Mind Reader Dude, thank you very much.
Thank you, good sir.
And yeah, we'll catch you soon. Hopefully, have you on the show. Hopefully, we can celebrate at the end of the season. But yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, thank you everyone. If you're watching it, if you're listening it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Support us, please. You know, big belly pats to our patties. See you soon. Episode 24 is done and
Thank you for having
dusted.
me.
Sweet
Bye.
buttery Nick.
Good man. Yeah. We got to do a live episode one day, man. But yeah, Big Belly Pats 24.
Kobe.
Yeah. Kobe, there we go, baby. There we go.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Peace.
All right. Cheers.